feeling spunky today. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Conway,
Present.
Alderman Ortman,
Present.
Alderman Moore,
Here.
Alderman French,
Present.
Alderman Carter,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Coulter, Alderwoman Spencer, Chairman Bosley, 6 present, Chairman, a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would move that we go out of the normal sequential order and take up Board Bill number 103 first.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we take Board Bill number 103 up first. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Conway,
Aye.
Alderman Ortman,
Aye.
Alderman Moore,
Aye.
Alderman French,
Aye.
Alderman Carter,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Coulter, Alderwoman Spencer, Chairman Bosley. 6 I vote.
Thank you. Alderman Rhodey on Board Bill number 103.
Mr. Chairman, this is a board bill to, for the vacation of a street, in the area, near St. Louis University Medical Center. Pass around the map here for our city we're talking about. This is an exciting, opportunity and the first step in a process that I think will result in the retention of probably several thousand jobs and new construction for about $500 million or so. Some years ago, a few years ago, we had quite a controversy down here regarding the demolition of the building at the corner of Shoto and Grand Avenue. And one of our colleagues showed up to protest the demolition that wasn't in his ward. And at the time, we couldn't really talk about it. It wasn't our colleague from the 21st.
Turn around and say that to the camera.
At the time, we couldn't really talk about it because the hospital was owned by tenant, and there were several thousand jobs involved. It's taken this long because we had a couple things happen along the way. One was Obamacare, and the second thing was a change of leadership over at St. Louis University. The reason this is important is for a $400 or $500 million investment, and that was several years ago. We were talking about the first phase of it, which was in an ambulatory care facility. For a $500 million investment, you can actually build a new medical school as opposed to building a new hospital. And Father Biondi, to his credit, and he certainly has a number of critics, but as they were being courted by 2 suburban Catholic chains to acquire the hospital and use the medical school as part of their brand. In other words, being a hospital chain with a medical school, which is from a marketing standpoint pretty important and is an advantage. There was talks about perhaps moving the medical school from the city to the county as well, and just in essence, moving the whole thing. Ironically, at the time, the law school was being moved downtown. So Father Biondi felt that it was part of their mission to stay in the city, however, and I was pretty committed to doing that. We couldn't discuss it at the time, obviously, because there's hundreds, if not thousands, several thousand people working over at the hospital, and with that number of jobs on the line and those people's careers and everything else, they wanted to keep all these talks confidential. But that's kind of what led to that controversy several years ago. But as I hope you all have noticed, several weeks ago it was announced that the SSM system will be, actually St. Louis University will be buying the hospital back from a tenant and subsequently selling it to the SSM system. and their intent is to spend about $500 million in that area, which will result in a substantial amount of new construction and new hospitals and new facilities, ambulatory care facility. We're beginning the process of doing site planning over there, but one of the first steps of it is to go ahead and begin consolidating parcels, which this will give us the ability to build if necessary across streets, and so that's the real purpose of today's bill.
Are there any questions of the sponsor? Seeing no questions, I move that we pass Board Bill number 103 out of committee with a due pass
Second,
recommendation.
previous roll.
It's been moved and seconded that Board Bill number 103 come out of committee with a due pass recommendation. There's been a request for previous roll. Seeing no objection, Board Bill number 103 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Villa, or is it gonna be Alderman Order?
We're gonna do it together with your permission.
That's, go ahead and do 104.
104 is next.
Do your wards touch?
We overlap.
Okay,
It's a rather personal question.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, got some little copies of the survey. Do you want them or?
Just go ahead and send them up.
What this is a street vacation. It's pretty simple. And Greg and Tom that are sitting right over here are putting in to vacate the street, you know, from the line on the map to the east. And this is the River Bluff Boulevard. The north side is the 9th Ward. The south side is the 11th Ward. And they own all the property, you know, to where the line is. Actually, a little bit more, I think, on the 11th Ward side. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Should be basically a no-brainer, in my opinion, so.
What's there on both sides of that cul-de-sac?
There's houses, on the east side of the cul-de-sac is the Mississippi,
River
that's the
Drive.
bluff,
Yeah.
yes. But they own, is it 5 properties?
5 properties.
5 properties there.
And the last 4 at the end, the last very two properties have the cul-de-sac in between.
So you own both properties?
Yeah, plus the 2 houses next to it.
And then, the people closer to Broadway, do they have the ability to make a U-turn if they wanna get in and out?
Yes,
In the
they
future.
all have driveways.
Okay,
Actually, 2 of our houses do not have driveways and one doesn't have parking, and this would take care of the house.
and just for reference, are we building something new?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, are there any other questions of the sponsors? Okay, I would move that we pass Board Bill number 104 out of committee with a due pass recommendation. It's been moved and seconded that Board Bill number 104 come out of committee with a due pass recommendation. There's been a request for previous roll. Seeing no objection, Board Bill number 104 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Good job, Alderman.
Excellent. It's not easy to hold him to. Shut up.
Okay. Alderman
I
Vaccaro.
love you.
Which one? I got Marlene's.
Well, you can do whatever order you want.
Let me not, the easiest one's the stop sign. so,
Okay, let's do a stop sign.
So what are we doing here?
Marlene, his,
Vaccaro.
So,
122.
122, I have a request from the people that live on Pelosi as they try to get onto McCausland. It kind of goes around a bend and cars go pretty fast, and they requested a stop sign.
And where's that stop sign going to be? Is it gonna be
It'll
stopping
be-
traffic on
it'll-
McCausland?
All four, it's gonna stop it on McCausland. I believe it already stops it on Pelosi, and I believe it doesn't extend.
We probably just filled it up.
Okay,
So I would ask. Pass that out.
Second.
Well, I can't do it
I
first.
make a
I'm
motion
messing
that
with
we
you.
pass
I'm
Board
messing
Bill
with
one twenty-two with a due pass.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded,
Okay,
Board
previous.
Bill, number 122 come out of committee with a due pass recommendation. There's been a request of previous roll. Seeing no objection, Board Bill number 122 comes out of committee.
Okay, I'm gonna hand them all in. Can I
Sure.
have help with that? I'm gonna do 107 first. Terry was gonna do these, but because the committee hearing's still going on across the way, and I'd already talked to the chief, and he's chairing the meeting, I'm over here with this. So I'm not as familiar with them, just what I read.
John, what do we have in Board Bill number 107?
Sure. I'm John Kohler with the Board of Public Service. The board bill was originally sponsored by Marlene Davis, and I understand she couldn't attend today. And I do have a project map to hand out to you,
All right.
a vicinity map.
Thank you very much.
I'm jealous because it's like color.
Yeah, yours
Must
was,
be impressive.
I don't know.
Listen, there's-
Aldermen can't afford it.
Grand Center Incorporated approached the city of St. Louis to develop and submit a federally funded transportation grant to East West Gateway, who's our region's municipal planning organization. We submitted for funding through a source called Transportation Alternative Program Funding. It's a 80% federal, 20% local match funding source. We were successful in acquiring that grant of $1 million federal money and $600,000 local match will be provided through the Grand Center Incorporated. The design of the project is fully funded by Grand Center, and that is occurring now. The grant was specifically for construction only, where we will take the design plans that are developed by Grand Center, and we will bid and we will manage the construction of the project through this grant. Essentially, the project involves Washington Avenue from Grand west to the Sheldon Concert Hall. And the transportation component is pedestrian related. We are widening the sidewalks from about 11 feet to 17 feet. We're eliminating a lot of the impediments to pedestrian access. We're removing or relocating light poles, tree wells, other features that are not currently compliant with Americans with Disabilities Act. We're providing a high-level pedestrian corridor in that stretch of Washington. This is the first phase of many phases for Grand Center area development, and we anticipate construction to start roughly in June of next year, 16. Other features, we're doing all new decorative lighting and a very unique high tension enhanced pedestrian LED lighting, string lighting, canopy essentially over Washington itself. Will give a visual appeal, might be like a star lit canopy, for instance.
Sounds like Las Vegas.
That's right. I don't know if it'd be quite like the Fremont Street experience, but maybe in that same line.
And will the street still be open to automobile traffic?
Yes,
All right.
the street lanes will be narrowed to accommodate one lane of traffic and parking on both sides.
Okay.
And there'll be some landscaping and, some crossing enhancements, and that Sheldon will do an enhanced pedestrian crosswalk. And those are the predominant features of the project.
Are there any questions of Mr. Foley? All right. I would move that we pass board bill number 107 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous roll.
Objection, because we have.
Oh,
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
Well,
People
see,
are
come on,
used
see,
to it.
we better come
man.
on.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We need 6. We need 6. 2, 4.
You want to go get?
Would you go get someone? You're the one that objected, brother.
But I was gonna object anyway.
I think you could count faster than he could.
No, he did good. That's what you let young folks. You can't stay here forever. There gotta be a replacement. We had, well, you had your 24 years, but I'm gonna get some of mine back though. What happened to the speed bump deal?
I don't know if it's here yet.
We're on 107.
I know, I just wanna know what happened to the speed bump deal. So I've been waiting for it.
Aldermen do not go far.
It's like herding, we're like herding cats, huh?
You said it.
So how many of these have you done, Mr. Alderman Boyd? These honorary things?
It's been a long time since I've done one. I probably have done 4 in my life.
I'm tired
In my
of
whole
him.
time being on the board.
And they all preachers out there, see?
Well, except one.
Mhm. My requirement is gonna be from now, they be deceased or they live in the community. That'll cut it all the way out.
But you have to do a petition to get it. You can't just do it.
I know, I probably know that better than you, okay? Just still, my requirement's gonna be they be deceased or they live in the community. And that will cut out most of the.
We're gonna recess for a minute.
Yeah.
We're back up and running. Before us was board bill number 107. It was presented by John Kohler of BPS. It's been moved and seconded that we pass board bill number 107 out of committee with a due pass recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Conway.
Aye.
Alderman Ortman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore. Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Carter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman Coulter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer. Chairman Bosley. 6 aye votes, 1 present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Vaccaro, do you have another one for Alderman Davis?
I do, and
Go.
there's no one here to help me with it, but I did read it. I don't know a lot about it, so I don't know how many questions I can answer, but it's an ordinance, ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to vacate public service right for vehicles, horses, stuff like that, pedestrians traveling in the Cleveland Avenue from Grand Boulevard to Spring Avenue in the city of St. Louis. So, other than, I haven't had really a chance to go through it, and there's no one here from the Board of Public Service, if there's a lot of questions, we may have to put it on hold, but if there's not a lot of questions to it, then I would say we can.
Okay, let's, which was the number?
105.
105.
Okay, and board bill number 105. Alderman Ogilvy, did you have something to add?
McLeod from Grand to Spring?
Yeah, you need this guy?
Sure. Now I got it.
We got it.
McLeod from Grand
To Spring.
to Spring. That's how I go to work, actually. It would be unfortunate to not allow travel through there, I think, at least without knowing why we're doing it. That seems to be an important street that's in use as a street.
All right, I appreciate that. Alderwoman Tyus.
I can answer since, besides, I don't know where you've been, I've been on the streets for a long time. So we closed West High many years ago for Father Beyond Day, okay? And then, so why they're closing Leclerc from Grand to Spring is because St. Louis U owns everything on both sides of it, so they're closing their campus off. That's what they're doing. That's in the middle of their campus. And that's what we did for West High.
I had a call from, which obviously is not in the 7th Ward or the 19th Ward, Humphreys on the corner of Laclede and Spring, longtime business there, in Alderman Rohde's ward. And I know both Alderman Rohde and I attempted to put them in contact with Alderman Davis. I have no idea if they ever connected or anything.
Did you go to St. Louis Law School?
I'm a double billiken. I did my undergrad at my law school
So
there.
you know Jan well?
I do, Jan and John. I would like to know if they were ever able to connect with the Alderwoman. I don't know if she made you aware of that.
No, this was, well, Terry, Alderman Kennedy's chairing the meeting across the way, and I was just asked to come over. And on this one, since there was nobody here to back me up, to really give me any facts, I read it just about the same time you guys did. I would have no problem if it was just held over to another meeting, if there's a lot of questions. If there wasn't a lot of questions, then I thought I would present it for it.
And I think if there's no objection, we'll go ahead and hold this over, and if Alderwoman Davis is unhappy, she can take it out on me.
Right.
Alderman Tyus.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so Humphrey still can come in, I think the thinking was, they could still come in from the Spring side, okay? Because they're not gonna close Spring right now, although I wouldn't say that they wouldn't come back and do that, so I forgot about Humphrey side,
Yeah.
okay? Yeah.
And I understand what SLU's trying to do, and they've done wonderful things with their, where those streets where they have vacated. I'd be curious to know their plans, a little bit more about what the purpose of closing the street is.
Alderwoman.
I'm with you, Chairman. I said, there's another restaurant there, up there too, isn't
But
there?
that's who own that?
Besides Humphreys, I
But don't they
think.
own that in that there?
I don't know.
Not in
You
this
know, on the
stretch.
west
No,
side
yeah,
of
don't
Grand, it's already
It's, when you go
dead
down
ends into.
towards Spring on the.
Nowhere, I know,
Yeah,
I tried to
you know,
get,
yes.
I tried to get down the Compton a couple of weeks ago.
But I think
you
just
can't
Sue
get
owned that
there
and
from,
rents that out, I think.
and because they did the other side.
All right.
Right, I think, I forgot Humphreys, and I
We
think that.
we are going to, Madam Clerk, if you will let the sponsor know that there's a number of questions, and it was beyond my power to do that today. Thank you. Alderman Vaccaro, do you have anything else for us?
No, thank you so much for.
Oh, did he agree?
Alderman Boyd.
Yes, I know. That's the point.
You've got board bill number 126.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Board Bill 126 is an honorary street naming in honor of Bishop James Holloway. Bishop Holloway is the pastor of Solomon's Temple, which is adjacent to the Mount Central YMCA at the corner of basically Page and Montclair. They have gotten the majority of the signatures. I think they've gotten signatures of all the registered voters with the exception of a couple.
Okay, excuse me for 1 second. Close that door so we can.
You okay?
Is she need?
Who?
We need 6.
Well,
We
let's
have
see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so we're back moving. Alderman Boyd, you have all of the required signatures?
Yes, and I provided
They're
to
in
Mr. Chairman.
this package here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And basically, as you can read through the whereases of Bishop Holloway has done a tremendous amount of community service over the past 30-something years. And I'm probably one of those people that's probably resistant to doing honorary street namings for the most part. So, Alderman Tyus asked me a few minutes ago. I've only done about 4 in 12 years I've been here. But they've been requesting this for quite some time, and he does do positive things in the community that impacts our community in a great way. So I'm supporting this, and I ask that you guys support it.
Alderman, I've only done 2 in 24 years. Okay, but never for a clergy member. Are there any
As you
questions?
live in the other side of town.
Are there any other questions for Alderman Boyd? But then I would move, Alderman Moore. You gotta get it up there for me, I'm moving. There you
There
go.
you go, now we got you.
I know his question.
I'm gonna pass on you today. Have they paid the money yet?
I don't think so, this hasn't passed yet, so there's no need to pay the money. They can't get any revenue until they pay the money to the street department. But it's totally on them financially.
I'm proud of you naming the street after somebody, after you wrecked my name, so you're pretty good.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay. I would move that we pass board bill number 126 out of committee with a do-pass recommendation. It's been moved and seconded that board bill number 126 come out of committee with a do-pass recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Conway,
Aye.
Alderman Ortman,
Aye.
Alderman Moore, Alderman French, Alderman Carter,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman Coulter,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer, Chairman Bosley. 7 aye votes.
Thank you, Chuck.
Next,
Members of the committee.
we have 2 board bills by Alderman Carter.
They're fairly easy.
They
When you
also,
gonna bring your,
That's what they are.
Yeah, I hate that one.
It's coming. Freeman is, I have to tell you about.
mine is a no vote, I can tell you already.
Figured that one.
It's two no's.
Okay.
I read it, but I don't-
Alderman
Is
on
there-
board bill number 98.
98, okay.
Not like you personally gonna sponsor it, I'm sorry.
So what this is, on Woodland Avenue, right off Bertha, there are 2 entrances into this street in Woodland. One is a slight right turn, curve turn onto the street, and the other one is the actual street entrance. And all Board Bill 98 is doing is blocking the actual curve, the turn off of Bertha. We've had several cars totaled within the last two months. I think a few cars, I want to say 5, were left there that were stolen. It has now become a place for drug deals because you jump right off the highway, make the turn, make your drug deal, and get right back on. And so the neighbors have came with a petition that I locked in my car to block this, to block not the street, but just that one slight turn. And so that's what this board bill does.
All right. Are there any questions of the sponsor? Okay, no questions. I would move that we pass board bill number 98 out of committee with a do-pass recommendation.
Previous roll.
It's been moved and seconded that board bill number 98 come out of committee with a do-pass recommendation. There's been a request for previous roll. Seeing no objection, board bill number 98 comes out of committee.
I have several of them.
Alderman on board bill number 116.
Okay, Board Bill 116, this will be adding a 2 stop signs, well, 1 stop sign, actually north and southbound on Goodfellow. The intersection where this is, the key thing that happened is that the Alderwoman from the 2nd Ward blocked off a few streets that were in her ward
And put all the
leading
traffic.
into Goodfellow, and so now it has put traffic specifically on this street into my ward, and we are having a lot of problems with folks pulling out because it's a bike lane there and people parking the bike lane, and it is a guy with like 4 large trucks, and you have to like ease out, and so from each end we've had multiple accidents the past 6 months, and we've actually seen a few teens get hit on the bikes. And so residents, they came and we thought about every other option except for a stop sign. And this is the last thing that we came up with that everyone could agree on. And I think that that it is needed there. They have stop signs at almost every stop there along Goodfellow except for this one. They even have a stop sign where the Alderwoman from the 2nd blocked those streets up. Off. She left the stop sign there, and there's no no traffic coming from anywhere.
Can you use that
Yeah,
stop
that
sign?
should come back.
That's what I was hoping, but, you know, I can't force her to pull that up, so, this is our only option.
All right, and then the only, and that's fine with me. The only other thing is, we do now in the streets department have a sign that says like, no SUVs, no van parking, no large trucks. So that you can have that put in if you got a problem where those big things are parking near the corner and you can't get in and out.
Well, we've had our neighborhood, liaison officer talk to everyone who, parks trucks there, and it'll stop for 2 weeks, and it's right back, and.
Give them a couple parking tickets.
Well, no, and look, we've towed cars, ticketed cars, and it's just, it's a tough intersection from each way.
No, and I appreciate that, but it still will even make it safer with a stop sign.
Yeah.
Okay, I would move that we pass board bill number 116 on a committee with a due pass recommendation.
Agree with you.
It's been moved and seconded, board bill number 116 come out of committee with a due pass recommendation. There's been a request for previous roll. Seeing no objection, board bill number 116 comes out of committee.
All right.
I think we did all of the bills.